Hey YouTube, this is Jack with Toy Dojo, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dx-9 Mightron, or their take on a Masterpiece Megatron. Now this is a pre-production sample that I've been so happy to take a look at. It doesn't come with all the pieces that the other ones do. I'm sure if you've seen reviews on him, he comes with other pieces. For one, he's missing this little back section here that becomes like the back of the scope here. He also is supposed to come with a weapon and a mace weapon that he comes with. So we don't have that, but we do have this here in hand. So here he is in his gun mode, and he's a nice gun mode. This is it's a big gun mode, you can see, and you know my hands aren't small by any means. I can reach around and I can grab it. Got the trigger there, and it looks like a Walther P38. So really nice. It's got up here this button you can push. And it turns on an LED light right there. Turn that off, turns off. So just a nice mode altogether. The barrel is die cast, just like we saw on Apollyon. This is the trigger here. It does move a little bit, like that, back and forth. Over here, the safety. You can move that down, like that, and up. So that does move on there as well. This doesn't move, nothing else moves besides that. So there that is. As far as the scope itself, instead of just popping off like the way Apollon's does, this one does slide on and off. Let me get that. Just like that. So that does slide on and off right there. Now the cool thing I like about this scope versus the other ones is this one actually extends a little bit. So when it's on the gun, it's fully extended. But when it goes on to his arm mode and robot mode, you can compress it, so that way it's not such a big arm cannon mode. I know we've seen, like on MPL5 when we had him come out years ago, that scope was ridiculously big on his arm. Even the one on Apollyon was pretty big, and we'll take a look at the both of them together here shortly. So there this one is, and like I said, I think the gun mode looks good. I honestly believe it looks better than Apollyon, and I own Apollyon. And I thought when Apollyon came out, I thought, man, that's Megatron right there. It looks great, and it does. But then I come and see this one, and I'm like, wow, let me rethink that. I think this one looks better. So let's take a look. I'm going to pull Apollyon here. I have him off on the side here. And so here's Apollyon, and again, gun mode. I just think that the Dx-9 does it better. Apollyon is just a little bit taller. I don't know how well we can see that. But Apollyon, if we're having them stand up next to each other in gun mode, Apollyon is a little bit taller. And then, let me extend the scope. The scope on Apollyon is probably just a little bit taller. Or a little bit longer, I should say. But overall, I think... Okay, first of all, when I was transforming Apollyon into his gun mode, it's such a pain in the butt. If any of you have ever transformed it before, you know just how frustrating some of the parts can be. And then just to get everything just to kind of sit in perfectly well in his gun mode, so that way everything is connected and just tabbed together, can be a bit of a problem. So, you know, while I do like Apollyon, I think, in my opinion, the gun mode over here looks better. And then that too, so that's the other part. That, once you tab it up there, it'll stay in, but this is a floppy mess to kind of, even on the arm mode. So I do like the fact that you're able to just take that and slide it on and off. Okay, but saying that, we'll talk about in robot mode what I like better on Apollyon than I do here. But gun modes, again, I think there's a lot of panel pieces, lines going on here, just a whole lot everywhere on Apollyon. That we know because that opens up for those little hidden spots, but on mine it's really loose. So, but we do have a lot of just like lines, a lot of breaks in it. Whereas this one has them too, but to me they seem to fit together better. And they're not as much. Down here on the leg, there's not as many. You got this one here that goes up here, you got this one here, and this one back here. And then over here you got this one that goes up this way, this one that goes this way, this one goes that way, this one over here. So there's a whole lot, I think, on Apollyon that Dx-9 just seems to do better there. So, again, just to kind of show you them, and we'll put them kind of, again, just side by side here. Just so you can get a good idea of how they look too next to each other in gun mode. And then as far as thickness on the guns, I would say they're probably roughly about the same. I mean, my hands fit around them about equal. Maybe this one's just a little bit bigger over here. If I close my fingers on them. Apollyon is just a little bit thicker than Mightron is. But for me, I think Mightron just looks better. I don't know, that's me. Again, with Apollyon, we got this issue where that's supposed to close up like that and stay together as that. Now, the one advantage that this does, because this all transforms and goes into the leg, so the one advantage is when he is in robot mode, all of that is hiding in the leg, whereas here, this is hiding on his back. And when we get into robot mode, you're going to see what I'm talking about. But I think I rather this than all this mess right here. So let's put him off to the side, and let's just focus on him. And again, he's a big gun. I'm going to grab, just say MP10, we're going to use him as a size comparison. But you can see just how much bigger he is than MP10. So back in the G1 cartoon, there had to have been some crazy mass shifting going on. So we're taking a robot that's the size of MP10 and turning him into a handgun. He's going to be this size as far as, you know, this scale. So imagine in the G1 cartoon, a robot that's probably 20 feet tall transforming is going to be a huge, you know, like 20-something foot gun. So there's mass shifting going on there where maybe everything was in like another dimension or whatever, just kind of waiting off to the side while he was in a gun. And then when he turned back into a robot, he just expanded. So anyways, that's that. We're going to go ahead and start transforming him. First thing here, let's go ahead and we'll do the legs here. The legs, and I'm going to try and remember how I did this. I'm going to open these up here first, right here at the bottom. So these go down by the heels there. So got one on that side, one on that side there. You can just flip up the heel spurs, and those die casts here, the heel spurs are die cast as well. You can go ahead and just start messing with the feet, kind of rocking them out a little bit. And rocking it out a little bit like that. And then you can kind of start to, the one cool thing I like about this, and you see it when you transform it either way, but this here, these fold in. So that's cool. Instead of them trying to sit there and fold over and stuff, all they're doing is just sliding open and close like that. So I thought that was really neat. That's kind of neat engineering there. Just slide that, and that folds up like that for the leg. So that is cool. It does that on the arms too in 2 spots. So I really like that on the arms as well. So we're going to start trying to just break apart the feet a little bit. And they are really well tabbed in together, so it can be a bit of a job to get them undone. I'm just going to grab, I know somebody mentioned a guitar pick, so don't use that because the Mars are plastic. So I'm just going to get this and kind of stick it in there, and I'm not going to scratch it up. But I'm just going to kind of break that open just like that. Because the tabs do tab in all along here, and they're really strong tabs. And then you can just slide the legs down like that. And so now you have the legs almost done for Mightron here. That's kind of cool. It's kind of a robot humanoid gun. Kind of cool. So here you can take these, flip this over like this, and get these up out of the way. Let's do that first. Let's get these things up out of the way. If that pops off, it's just a tab on here, or a ball joint. So let's get that out of the way. Do the same thing on the other side here. We're just going to get this and kind of work this up and out of the way. Just like that. Turn this and get that up and out of the way. Okay. So I guess a little more room to here and mess with this. Take that, just fold that over, and that's going to plug in right there. When I first got it, I saw this, and it was a little bit of a, gap, and I was like, oh man, the screws aren't in tight enough. But then that's when I found out that it actually folds open and becomes flat right here. So take that, close that up, just like so. Tab that into place. And then we're going to work on just getting all this up out of the way, because these are going to be the legs and this up in the hip area. So we're just going to work on getting all this stuff out of the way. Let's see here. And I've done this a few times, so if I forget stuff, you know, hey, that's just the way it works sometimes. Let's go ahead and pop this open like that on the top here, and we're going to lift this up just like so. That way that frees this whole bottom section right here. And then you lift these panels up. There's one here, and there's one on this side. And what that is going to be actually is going to be his front crotch piece. And then the legs themselves, they're going to open up like that, open up like this. And let's go ahead, you know, before we do that, let's move this handle out of the way. Just to get that out of the way right there. And open these up just like that. And let's just twist the legs just like this for right now. We'll figure out their orientation here in a minute. And we can see now he's got a humanoid gun right there, so it's kind of cool. So let's get this. And that, since I said, is going to be the front piece right here. We'll take the legs, we'll rotate the legs here. At the bottom, there's a lot of pieces here that are going to rotate. The top part's going to rotate, and the bottom part's going to rotate. So for right now, we're going to take this and rotate that. So that way we know that that's facing the front right there. And then these here, the hip skirts, we're going to take them, and there's a... Let's see if we can get better lighting here. We're going to take that, and we're just going to kind of push that down just to get that out of the way. And that on that hinge there, we'll just pull the whole piece down. So do the same thing on the other side there, just kind of tilt that down and out of the way. And then here you want to take off the cannon piece because the arms are going to end up opening up from right here as well. So just break that open, that opens up the arms right there. While we're doing that, we're going to just take away, let's get that up here, pull this up. Let's move that out of the way, we need more room here. Okay, so just rotate that like that. We're going to pull this up because these are die-cast bars that are sitting right here, and that goes to the arms. That all collapse in for the gun mode there. Okay. Then we want to just take this piece right here. We're going to rotate that down and out of the way, and you can see those bars I'm talking about. So when you put into gun mode, you slide these all the way down, and it holds inside here. And then this here, you're going to open this up as well. Kind of get a fingernail in there if you can. It's really tight. If you get a fingernail in there, you can do it. And just kind of flip that open. Or so I say. I'm going to take Apollyon's little... No, that'll probably break. Only that. Take my butter knife again. Don't judge me, YouTube. Okay, here we go. See, I didn't scratch it. I was just sitting there messing with it. So, flip that around like that. And just finish pushing this up out of the way. Just like so. And then these two pieces that are right here are going to fold into each other like that. Got one there, and one there. And now on the arms, you're going to take them and just kind of open them up, get them down and out of the way. And where these can fold in, just like that, one there, and one right there. And those fold up and out of the way. Okay? Alright. So now, let's go ahead and let's work on this piece here. So the barrel flips in right here in the back. So what we're going to do is just take that and just kind of open that up. So I say it flips open, it tabs in. Mess with that. So essentially what happened is right here at this end there's a tab that plugs into a hole that's right here on this side. So we're just going to open it up by just kind of like popping it out of that spot. I mean, easier said than done. And never have I felt like I was going to break anything on this, which is a good thing. When I transformed Apollyon, there was a few spots that I was like, yeesh, I hope I don't break that. And luckily I didn't, because I'd be kind of upset if I broke my Apollyon. But on this one, I never felt that, so that's a good feeling when you're knowing you're not going to break anything. So give me a second, let me mess with this here. It just pops open just like that. There it goes. Like I said, so there you got that hole right there, and there's that peg right there. I may have said it reverse. I think I said the hole's on that side, but either way, that goes onto that right there, and that's where that's at. So once you do that, you just kind of get that out of the way. We're going to go ahead and we're going to work on this section here. That's going to be Megatron's side abdomens there. And so what you want to do is you want to take that and just kind of like, you're going to kind of like rotate it and rock it out. And you can probably see better right here when I'm doing this. Just take that and just kind of like rotate that. Let me get it started first. Let me get started here. There we go. So you see the way that's kind of going, just like that. Let's look at it from up here. So you're going to rotate that and just kind of like rock it open more and more. So what that's going to do, it's going to flip these. That essentially is going to flip all the way up to the top like that. Let's get Megatron's head flipped out of the way. Like that. And then just work on getting that flipped up. So let me show you again. We just did it. So when it's like that, just take it and you're going to flip that up just like so. That way you got that now. Okay? Then this piece right here is going to fold up. There's some nice detailing here too on that piece right there that just kind of folds away in gun mode there. Which really they didn't need to do because it's gun mode, but still. So you fold that up like that. That's there just like that. Take this down and you can go ahead and push this down like that. The one thing, actually, let's go ahead and do it right now because you're going to have to do it later on anyways. Right here, there's these two pieces. You pull them down and those kind of hide, or not hide, but fill in the abdomen area just like that. And again, we're going to go with this, just get this and just kind of give it a little bit of help there. There we go, there's one. And the other. If I had a guitar pick, if I played the guitar, I'd use it, but I don't play the guitar. Alright, so now we're going to take, since that's the front of him and that's the front of his bottom, we're going to take this whole thing and we got to rotate it around. So let's get this kind of up and out of the way here. Let's just rotate this right now so we can get that done. So you see I'm just rotating this top half that's going, this top half from there, that's just going to rotate around just like that. And just make sure you don't have anything that's going to be in the way there. Let's see what's it catching on here. There we go, nothing. Try rotating it the other way maybe. Yeah, there you go. I guess instead of, okay, so I had it this way. So looking at it, for me, I got to rotate it to my left, which is going to be your right, instead of the other way. Just take that, rotate it around like that, and then there you go. You got that up in the front right there. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put this cannon piece down. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get this arms up and out of the way. Just want to get this around these arms right here. Just do that. Okay, because what we're going to do is we've got to take this piece here, and that's got to go inside this whole chest piece right there. So kind of just tilt that a little bit, just like that. And you want to take all this, and this piece here that covers his head mode needs to be back just like that. So you situate that like that. You fold this piece up like this. Maybe it's better to see like that since the cannon was in the way there. You fold this up. And you want to get this down. Just find it easier if you have the arms out like that. You kind of get that and situate it just like so. And essentially you're going to get all this stuff and it's going to just stick right inside there. So let me work at that just like so. Okay, just like that. Let's pull that out again so you can see. So you take that and it's all going to come in and it's going to go in right through there. And if you push on this back piece right here, it makes it a lot easier. And once all that's lined up inside, you're going to take the arms, situate them up like that. And now you got everything lined up inside just like that. Okay? So you can close this down like this. Take this, fold that up like that. And this piece, we'll go back to that, but you can put that a number of different ways if you want. Okay? So we're going to take Megatron now, or Mightron, we're going to close him up, so just push that down like that. So that way this all closes up, and that's all lined up like that. Okay, And we're almost there. So rotate the arms down, like so. Flip this up, just like that. And so the arms, I was saying earlier about the legs, how they do this number here, which is really cool. The arms do that similar thing. So you take the arm piece, and we'll start with, let's start with this one here. We'll work on the forearm. So you undo these, pull them down, just like that on both sides. Or so I say. Come on. Gotta have it straight and then pull it out. And again, I don't feel like anything is going to break. As tight as these are, and this being a pre-production sample, I don't feel like anything is going to break on it, which is cool. Being that my Apollyon was the final one, and as I was transforming it, I was scared. I even think I messed up a part of it down the leg section. But hey, what do you do? Alright, so the arms, you take them, and you kind of just squeeze them almost. Just like this. Because what's going to happen is, you're going to squeeze it, and that's going to pop out like that. If I could explain that. Let me see if I can do it like this. Let me do it first. Once you get it, it's easy to remember. Obviously, I didn't remember it, but let me do it. There we go. Starting to come. You're kind of just getting this piece, and that's basically going to fold that way, just like that. So let's get that. There we go. So you start doing that again. It pops up like that, and so you see how it fills that arm. So it goes from being this flat piece into this more forearm piece like that. Let's do it again over here like that. I'm going to take it and just kind of pop it out. Like that. There we go. Okay. And then these here, you're going to rotate these forward like that. And you can do the same thing on the on the shoulders, I should say. Take them. You're going to pop them out again, just like that. So take the shoulders, and kind of you're kind of pulling back here while pushing up here, and that's going to help you out there. So kind of pulling back, pushing, and that makes a shoulder piece right there. And then same thing over here. Again, you're going to pull back with these fingers and push up with the thumb, just to kind of give you that same motion there. Like I said, once you get it, it's really easy, and I thought it was really a cool thing. Instead of having to like flip over, do this, do that, or do the other, I think that looks really cool. And then down here, you got this little panel that's going to open up, and that's where the hand is hiding. So we take the hand, and the way you want to take the hand out, you have the fingers facing forward. You just flip them up like that, and you can grab the fingers and yank the hand out. And don't worry about the fingers breaking either, because they're not like the individually articulated thin ones. Now once you get that hand out, you're going to take the thumb folds, and it kind of sticks inside the hand. There's a hole in the hand where it sticks in there, and that's for transformation. So you want to take that and pop that out like that. Okay, and there's one hand, and we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand right here. Flip that up, take the fingers out, flip them open just like that, and close that down like that. And then again, that thumb needs to pop out, so we'll just take that and open that up. That thumb is a little tight sometimes when it's stuck inside the hand, and I'll show you what I mean. So like I said, that thumb folds. It's got this joint here that also rotates around like this. So you rotate them at the base, and then it goes both ways like that. And then the first knuckle of the thumb folds down like that, and then you have to push it, and it stores inside the opening of the hand right there. So sometimes to get it in can be a little bit of a pain, and then pulling it out can be a little bit of a pain as well. So let me get his hands all situated a decent way. And then you're pretty much done with him. You take these little hip skirts here, situate them how you want. Stand them up. And then there is Mightron, Dx-9 Mightron. Take the cannon. And remember how I said that it collapses? So you take it, slide it down, and you can slide that back onto his hand or his forearm. And then there you go. Now you don't have this overly huge arm cannon like you do on all of the other Megatrons we've seen come out lately, or in the past, I should say. So there's Mightron, and honestly, I think he is a good-looking figure. I believe, in my opinion, if I didn't have Apollyon here, and I had to choose between the two, I'd pick him over him. Now messing with both of them, I'd choose them. I like the way the transformation is done on this one. Though it seems a little bit more complicated, it's actually not. I think this one is way more complicated than this one here is. I didn't have instructions with it, so I had to mess with it. And just messing with it, you know, it took a while the first time to get it, but the second time around it was like, oh, that's real easy. Do this, do that. Don't worry about things breaking, because they won't. So looking at him, I think they did good on the face. Now, he's supposed to come with another face. The original face is supposed to be just kind of like a regular face, and then you got the screaming face. Well, this piece that I got here didn't come with that little screaming face. Again, it's a pre-production sample, and so thus I don't have all the pieces that came with it. But I think they actually did a really good job in making Megatron. They made his head helmet a great shape. The face looks just like Megatron. That looks like Megatron screaming out of the cartoon. Just everything, it looks good on this, except for one piece, and we'll talk about that after I go over articulation. So the articulation, this is on a mushroom peg here, so he can look down. He can look up a decent amount. His head can rotate all the way around. The shoulders themselves are on a good ratchet that you can get all the way around. And again, they're not on that ball joint, which is good, so that you can open up. His arm can go all the way up like this. He's got an upper bicep swivel right there, or lower bicep swivel. He's got the elbow bend right there, and actually the elbow bend goes up almost like almost a double spot there. Down here at the hips, let's get the arms out of the way. The legs can go out. Those on a soft ratchet, they can go backwards. On a good clickety ratchet, they can go forward. You gotta move the hip skirt. And the hip skirt is all in one piece right here on the front. It's just one giant piece that's connected. So you can move them out, back like that. And he can rotate at the waist, but you do have to kind of get everything out of the way in order to do that. So you have to move that up. And once you move everything out of the way, the side skirts and the front hip skirt there, you can rotate them right there at the waist if you'd like. So he's got that option as well. Down at the knees, they do bend 90 degrees like that. They do come out. And then the feet also, they will rotate in. That's crazy. It's a crazy rotation. I don't know why that's there for that, but oh, one thing I did forget on the foot. Let's do that. Now just looking at it. This actually has to come out. So you take that, flip that out like that, rotate this around like so, and that just tabs in. That tab goes into that slot right there, and that fills out that foot. So now you can see the difference in the feet. I forgot about that. So let's do that one on this side again. Flip this out just like that, rotate it around, and get that locked underneath there. Okay. Now he's good. Now he's got his feet. Okay, so again on the feet, they do rotate. They go forward and backwards. They do this side action here. And so a lot of posability on him. I think he's really nice. When I first saw they were doing it, I was like, can't be any better than Apollyon. That was my initial thought. And I thought, nah, my Apollyon is going to be the better of the two. Well, like I said, I think my attitude's changed on that. Just because handling both of them, I would prefer this one over Apollyon. I may get this one, just leave him off to the side somewhere. But I will say, we're also going to be in the third one, which I believe is MMC, I think is making theirs as well. So we'll wait to see when that comes out, what it looks like. Alright, so what I don't like about this is the backpack. The backpack, it's not overly huge, but it's still there. Whereas on Apollyon, and when I transform him and put them together, we'll see the difference. You know, Apollyon, his is more sleek, But with Apollyon, everything here is put down here into legs and thighs, and it makes it just kind of messy. So I think for me, I'd rather have it up here, just because when he's on the shelf, you really can't see all of that right there. You just see him standing like that. Whereas in Apollyon, you can see, you know, the gun handle and all the bits on the inner thigh and then on the outer thigh as well. And he's got great coloring too. You know, he's got the nice silver. It's not really like the silver on this Apollyon. This one's more of kind of like a, I don't know, like a shiny silver, if you will. This is more like a flat one, but it's really nice. It's got his little paint apps here. The inner workings of the legs here look like the G1 Megatron cartoon version, and it's painted red, kind of like the G1 toy is. So that's nice. I can appreciate that. And the legs look fuller and thicker than those that are on Apollyon. So again, I just think overall, I think he has a lot of better workings than Apollyon does. So just to show him some size comparisons, and like I said, when we get to Apollyon, when I transform him, we'll put him with him to show you guys, and we'll do their own comparisons. But I want to pull some other bots in right now, just to kind of show you some other MPs. So we're going to pull in first and foremost MP10, because that is his nemesis right there. So he looks about the same size as MP10. Great scale to go along with him. I'm going to pull in Quake Wave here, Fans Choice Quake Wave, and that looks good too. Megatron's just a little bit bigger than him, or Mightron I should say is a little bit taller than Quake Wave there. So that looks good together as well. I think I have the Masterpiece version, and he's shorter, so he's going to be shorter than him. I just don't have him opened up. So if you like your Megatron taller than your Shockwave, you're going to want to put him with the official Takara Masterpiece Shockwave. And then here is Soundwave. So you can see what they look like together there. And he is taller than Soundwave, which again he should be, because obviously he is the leader and Soundwave was his second in command. So there he is with Soundwave like that. And the one thing that he does have, which Apollyon had as well, we'll just show that off here. But he's got a spot right here on his arm where you can take Masterpiece Laserbeak and he can sit right there on that piece. So you got this little tab right there that'll sit on Laserbeak's foot. And that way Laserbeak could sit there and report all his findings of the doings of the Autobots. And one last guy I wanted to bring in, just because he's supposed to fit into scale with Masterpiece type robots, is the Toy World Devastator. Now just to show that, I mean, you probably can't get all that on camera there, but you can kind of see just how tall he is and how well he fits together with that version of Devastator. I think that looks good together. I think that's really, really cool. So I pull him out. So for me, again, we're gonna take a look at. I'm not gonna do it on camera because he was such a pain in the butt to do. But we're gonna pause and we're gonna come back and we're gonna kind of compare the two. But I'm gonna give my final thoughts right now, just because I already messed with him with these. And my final thoughts on him, I think he's good. He does a great job. His transformation is fun. There's some cool things going on with it. Just overall, I think he's a great looking figure. He's got a lot of die-cast metal to him. He feels good. His price, I don't believe, I think it's $129.99 if I'm not mistaken, which is a good price considering he was more when he came out. So I think it's done well. But again, that's going to be up to you to decide on what you think. You think you're going to want this one, or are you going to want this one here? And most of us probably have him because he came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody expected him to be coming out. So we all got him and said, oh, this is our Megatron here. Until we can get an official one, which I don't know that will ever happen. But, again, out of the two, my money is on this guy here. Minus this here. But, again, that can be forgiven. So, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description below where you can pre-order him from. And when I come back, like I said, we're going to go ahead and compare these two guys. And then that'll be it. Okay, now we're back. And we have Apollyon here in his robot mode next to Mightron. And so we looked at what, in my opinion, was better in gun mode between the two and the differences. So now we're going to take a look at them in their robot modes and just do comparisons on what I feel, for me anyways, are pluses for one over the other. So for me, the very first plus on Mightron over Apollyon is the head. I think the head sculpt and the face sculpt is better. Even though I have just a screaming mouth one here because, like I said earlier, it didn't come with the other one, I still think they did a better job at capturing Megatron's likeness in the face and also the helmet too. I think it's just more streamlined, and so I think for me they did better over here on Mightron than it did on Apollyon there. The second thing and the biggest thing is the shoulders. We know the issue with Apollyon being a ball joint there, that these would pop off sometimes, and then it wouldn't hold up too well if you had it too heavy. Now on mine, I did put some like that future polish, which kind of actually tightened them up a little bit. I never replaced the shoulders for it. I just left them on there. But because of that, you can only go out so far with the shoulders. But like we said, on this one, you can come out a lot more. So you get a lot more articulation there at the shoulder joint than Apollyon does. So for me, that's a good part right there as far as the difference. And on the elbow here, I remember a lot of us were complaining that he didn't have like an elbow here. It was kind of like missing. So that's one thing that on Mightron is different. When you bend the elbow, it's still there. So that's a good little plus, if you will. The legs too, I think look a lot better on him, on Mightron. They just look better. The feet look better. I like how the inner portion here looks like the G1 cartoon, and also, but also has a G1 toy, because the G1 toy is red on the inner legs here, and it's very clean. They're all, it's a clean leg. Whereas over here, he's got all this stuff. He's got everything inside here like that. Over on the outside, everything is just a big jumbled mess. I mean, it looked good when we first got it, but now seeing him, I'm like, I really do prefer the way the legs look on Mightron than they do look on Apollyon. And then I always have trouble with my Apollyon just getting to stand right at times. Where on the Mightron, I haven't had that issue yet. So, again, just some positives. And another positive here is, like we showed earlier, that can extend, and then when he's in his bot mode, it closes down, and you got a smaller cannon that's not ridiculously huge like the cannon on he is. The gun barrel here sets lower as well, so it sits just above his head. This one sits a little bit higher. So again, just your preference on that. I'm going all the positives I like on him, and then we'll look at the positives for him here. Let's see, what else was there? I think that was it as far as positives for Mightron there. The hands, I mean, those can go either way. I do like how the hands here are fully articulated. Every finger is articulated fully. And then on his, we saw where the fingers are kind of pinned right here at the knuckle, and but they're very strong. They feel very sturdy. So that's a plus for him that I like. And then again, just like I said, the overall legs look cleaner for him. This area as well looks a little bit more tidier. He doesn't have the big diaper-ish piece here. But then again, the G1 Megatron cartoon, he had that kind of big diaper-ish look right down in here. So again, that's just going to go up to personal preference. Alright, so now, where I like some of the things on Apollyon better, first and foremost is the back. Now, the backpack here doesn't look too bad, but if we look at Apollyon, the back of Apollyon looks a lot cleaner than the back of Mightron there. So that again is probably for me one of the pieces I like best over here. But if I'm looking at him from the front, I'm not going to see all that back kibble like that. So another thing that I do like here on Apollyon, better than I do like on Mightron, is that you're able to take this and swing that up and around and move it to the front of his arm, just like so. Let's get that down. And so you can have it sitting there like that in robot mode, versus this one's just stuck on the side of his arm, and then you're left having to flip this around like that. So again, that's a little positive on that one there. I like that gimmick they did there. What else was there about? So the thing I liked about Apollyon also is that you don't notice any, like, you see the pegs here. So you see pegs right here, and there's none down there. It's real clean there. You don't see the pegs on the sides of the arm there, so it's clean as well. So some of the things on Apollyon are cleaner than they are on Mightron, but again, it's just going to come down to your personal preference. Now, if you don't have either of the two, which one would I go for if I didn't own either of the two, but I looked at both of them? I probably would go with Mightron right now. Now, we know that we're going to be having another Apollyon, or another Masterpiece Megatron inspired, I should say, coming out here soon. So I'd say hold off and wait on them just to make sure you want to get to the right one. But if it was just out of these two here, personally, I think I'd go with Mightron, just because the transformation is so fun, dealing with some of the stuff, and I think just overall he looks a lot better. I think the paint looks better here because it's got kind of like that metallic chrome kind of color. This is more like a flat kind of a silverish color. So the paint's better, but just overall, this one right here I think looks a lot better. Give me your thoughts. What do you think? Which do you think out of these two looks better? If you own Apollyon, what are your likes and not likes about him? And what do you like or don't like about what you've seen with this figure here? So, again, this is Jack with Toy Dojo. I'll put a link in the description below where you're going to be able to order this guy from when he's available. And please like, comment, subscribe. And again, let me know what you think. Until next time, stay safe.